Well, hello friends. Welcome back to another Decorate with me. I'm Alessandra, and today we are getting one step closer to finishing all of our Bridgerton inspired balls, parties, weddings, soirees, everything that we see in season 2 of Bridgerton. If it was a party, a ball, a fancy night out, we are taking that inspiration and turning it into a modern day event, whether it be a wedding, a baby shower, a bridal shower, birthday party, whatever. We're inspired. We're making cool things. This week is no exception. We are on episode 7, and this episode featured the Bridgerton Danbury joint ball. I think they refer to it as the Harmony Ball, if I recall correctly. And what was really fun about this was that they went all out. Everything was gorgeous. You see the Bridgertons coming down from their home. Lots of excessive, beautiful, fresh florals. Lots of roses in kind of blush, white, cream textures. Lots of greenery. And then the ballroom is empty. Nobody showed. Scandal arose. If you saw the season, you know. If you didn't, I don't want to spoil too much, but the Danbury Sharma family showed up because obviously it was a joint party and they're bummed. But as we saw in the trailer, so we're not giving away too much, there were magnificent dancing among them happening, and it was super fun. And I'm showing you this because, one, it was really fun, but two, like, look how gorgeous all the greenery and the roses and just foliage and everything was just this beautiful buffet over here. And I was like, you know, this is fine. Like, this is, obviously it's gorgeous. Like, who are we kidding? It's beautiful. But I think we've seen a bunch of weddings along these lines, not just in Bridgerton style, but just in general, kind of in life, Pinterest, whatever. So I wanted to challenge ourselves to think, how can we turn this into something else other than this? And I thought some sort of spring soiree in white, rose gold, and greenery would be really fun. So this is kind of our inspiration picture as we're moving forward. Before we get into all the design looks, I just want to let you guys know that all of the exact products that I find when I create these mood boards are always linked down below in the description section. And that way you can use it as inspiration, or if you want to recreate the exact looks that I design on my mood boards, that's cool too. Also, there's always a mood board series video that's uploaded a couple of days after this video is uploaded, so the big Decorate with me. So if you want to take these designs and show them to your local event designer, florist, whoever, there's a shorter video that just has the finished mood boards that you can link and share with your friends, your designers, whoever. Alright, now let's get into the rounds. So starting with the rounds, I'm picking rounds because the rounds are a table that is pretty universal. They're easy to rent. They're almost always at venues. And sometimes they can be the hardest to decorate in the sense that you like, runners aren't super common, I feel like, these days with rounds. So you usually either do tall centerpieces or low centerpieces. And that can get kind of boring sometimes if you're just doing a whole lot of rounds, if you just go high, low, high, low. So one way to make it fun is beautiful overlays. So I found this nice textured rose overlay. It's embroidered and hand sewn, and it's really pretty. But since most venues offer some sort of house linen in white or ivory or cream or something, the great thing about an overlay is if you pick the right overlay to go with the base linens that the house offers, or the venue offers, whatever, you can save yourself a lot of money. So in this instance, if you have a white poly tablecloth, a simple overlay like this is much more affordable than buying or renting full-size floor-length linens, and it's really pretty. It has nice texture in this instance. We've got some nice rose finishes, and I thought this is really fun. Pairing that with a tall gold floral riser for centerpiece, and then something like this product here, which I love, and I really wish it was around when I was acting in the industry a little bit more in designing. This is so great. This is a little dome. It's almost a full ball, but not quite. And what you can see here is there's peonies, roses, and a hydrangea, all white. They make them in white and cream and a few other colors, but it already looks like it's an arrangement ready to go. So all you have to do is boop, pop it on. Now, I like the frosted vines a little bit just for that soft green vibe, and it matches a tablecloth. So I just added some sprigs in and then paired it with a braided rose gold charger, a nice bright white napkin with a beaded green napkin ring. And then if this was a nighttime function, maybe some fun beaded votives that are, you know, gold and crystal and sparkly, but again, not needed if you're doing this during the day, but still fun. And then this is a nice way to spruce up a round table to look a lot more fancy without breaking the bank. Now, an estate table is any rectangular table. Some people have wider tables at their venues, some are more narrow, especially if you use the regular fold-up pop-up tables. Those can be a little bit more narrow, so I always recommend getting measurements before designing any table. But assuming your table is a little bit wider, like most venues rent out, you have enough room to have a runner most likely. And what's great about the runner is, again, just like an overlay, it's like essentially the overlay for the estate table. It could be really fun and pretty, add a pop of interesting color or texture or pattern, print, whatever, without breaking the bank and having to do a full-size table. So in this instance, we have a nice kind of willow green polyester tablecloth. Pretty, different, but inexpensive. And then we can take something like this, a rose gold sequin vine table runner, and it is mesh, so it's going to pick up whatever colors are underneath it. So obviously the picture here is white, so you see white underneath it, but if you had green underneath it, the green's going to pop through and it's going to look really great. And that's a nice way to incorporate some of our pink rose gold into this look. And then I found these little, they're little vases. They're not really water type vases, but they're vases online, and they're like the smaller version of these. I'm not sure they're quite as nice quality, but they're probably going to get the job done. And then they sell little floral clusters you could put with them. You can make your own arrangements, or again, just use the little pre-made ones like these. Whatever your heart's desire. I just liked the pop of a little bit darker pink in here just for contrast, and I was like, that's pretty great. So as we style this table a little bit more, I opted to use a raspberry shantung satin napkin. And then we've used this charger before in the Bridgerton series, and I just really like it because it's not super modern and it's not super old school, but it's just kind of classic with the scalloped edges in gold. It's got the blush, and then I thought a little bit of texture would be fun with a beaded napkin ring like this that is already kind of a clear crystal, a little bit of gold, a little bit of light green, and a little bit of the darker pinks. Just kind of a fun idea and an interesting take for a shower, or something that's, you know, you don't have to be super formal. Even if it's a birthday party or something, this could be just a fun, lighthearted take. So you don't have to do a napkin fold, you know, because actually, depending on what venues you're at, they might charge you more for having specific napkin folds done. So if that's the case, you might as well get some fun napkin rings if you don't like the folds. All right, now, I love a good table arch. We've seen a million different versions of table arches, and I thought, when I saw this tablecloth, I was like, okay, it's perfect. A rose gold sequin. I love it. I don't need any more convincing. But when you have a heavy, impactful, not heavy, but more impactful tablecloth, like a sequins, a full sequins like this, I try personally not to put too much on the table to distract unless you need to, if that makes sense. But I think in a party or a shower type situation, we don't really need that. So I thought, how fun would it be to do something a little different with the rounds? So take a big round table, maybe a 72-inch round that you might put 8 to 10 people in. You'll lose 2 spots by putting the arch over across it. But honestly, I think for a party or a shower, that's probably fine. But I saw this great little picture, and this is just a snip of the picture, on Shop Wild Things website that a customer submitted, and they used all of these silk flowers from Shop Wild Things and made this big arch. So I just took this snip and thought, okay, if we could scale that down to go across this table arch with a little bit of greenery and whatnot, like this could be absolutely stunning. And in the chance that this was like maybe a, I don't want to say a bridal shower, but maybe like a wedding situation, and for some reason you wanted a lot of blushes and whatnot in your wedding reception, this could actually be a really fun take on the sweetheart table, especially if you did this as a half round. If you can visualize that like a half a moon essentially, so that way just the couple sitting there, that could be really fun. But anyways, I digress. For a party or soiree in the late afternoon or early evening, something like that, this could be gorgeous. Now, I would style this personally with very simple elements like a clear glass charger, that we have used several times before, but this one has clear beads instead of the gold beads. You could put the gold beads on here, but I just thought, I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it. Plus, I found this super fun beaded napkin ring, and I think I might just be on a beaded napkin ring kick this week, but I actually like that it was kind of muted because I think it goes perfectly with the florals, and it won't take away from the sequins. And then using that pop of raspberry as our napkin is going to complete the look. No party is complete without a food display or dessert buffet, something along those lines. Whether it's a birthday party, a shower, a wedding, there always seems to be some sort of beautiful tablescape happening with food. And I love this sequin linen. Obviously, we saw it as the runner earlier in our green tablescape for an estate table, but they do make a full-length linen. And I thought this would be incredible if we could use it on the buffet, because one, if it's on the buffet, you might only need 1 or 2 linens, and by extension, keep your budget down because you don't need to buy as many specialty linens, but also it's just beautiful. So we're going to start designing this table with a tall vase of your choosing. I just am using the clear ones that were in these pictures, but this is a kind of creamy ivory dogwood branch collection here. And I always like adding height to buffet tables because you're always looking down, right? You're always looking to see what's on the table, what can we eat. So that's where we start. Now there's a lot going on in this page, but bear with me. Because we started with the height, now we can start working in layers down towards the base table. So we have a sample cake here just as a placeholder, but usually there's some sort of focal dessert. We have this macaroon tower, which I've used a few times, but I just really like it. It's so fun, and anything grab and grow at parties like these are always in good favor because then you don't have to worry about like scooping puddings out and things like that. So we have that. We have this nice beverage dispenser, which is just a nice take. You could use a punch bowl here, but I liked the fact that this had a little ceramic riser built in. We have this little cloche here, and I don't think I've used this exact one, but I've used a similar one before. But these are really fun because it's one set, so you could use it as a cloche, or it could be, the pieces can be turned around different ways to be made for like turning it into a punch bowl, or a kickstand, or a big salad bowl, or a dip and, platter. What are those, like veggie platter? There we go. So I just thought that's a very universal thing. So if you were buying something, I always try to buy things that can be used multiple times and can be added to a bigger collection. And this is one of those things. A beverage dispenser like this is one of those things. A macaroon tower like this is one of those things. You could always just get macaroons in different colors, obviously, for the theme of the event. And all of this is fairly neutral, so it can go in really any style. Cake pops, I realize some people love them, some people hate them, but they are really popular at parties, and so finding a pretty way to display them is always hard, so that's why we are here. Now you might be asking me, Alessandra, what's going on over here? So this picture that we see here is another picture that I found on the Shop Wild Things website, and somebody had purchased the flower panel backdrops that you see here, and they made their own backdrop, and then they bought one of the heart arches that Shop Wild Things also sells, put some lights on it, and took a picture, and obviously they used it for their own event. But I love a good flower wall, and at first, I really, really, really wanted to turn it into a backdrop for the cake table, and it's hard to say because there's a lot going on this table that are already kind of in the soft pinks, blushes, rose gold area, so it's kind of a lot going on, and I was like, in real life, would I recommend that? Maybe, but I think if you were going to make a flower wall with something, like these are really, really nice premium panels, you might as well make a nice backdrop. Now, I'm not doing this justice, I know, because I'm just taking pictures of panels and trying to make them into a big, maybe 8x8, pretty standard size flower wall, but you get the gist here. Like, this is just really pretty. This has hydrangeas and roses and frangipanis. Like, it's just beautiful white and light pink without being too much of any one flower, in my opinion. And so I thought, okay, this could be really pretty. You don't really need to do a whole lot with it if you don't want to, but I like having a few little dimensional pieces that help make people look a little bit taller or slender. No, not slender, but it just helps flatter the look a little bit more instead of just having like, boop, here's a flower wall, which is gorgeous in and of itself. But if you think this is maybe like an 8-foot by 8-foot, let's say, these little floral risers are really pretty. They're gold. We put another one of those little flower domes that we used in our centerpieces earlier. Now these are only a little bit over 3 feet, so you could put them on the riser, but if you think about it, if you split this in thirds essentially, so we're going to round up and say 3, 6, 9, maybe we take it a little bit off the ground, the average person's going to be around the 5 to 6 foot range, somewhere in here, so that way you can have like 3 layers going in. We have the top, where the top of the heads are, and then this kind of area here, and that splits up your visual area a little bit, and it will potentially add to some nicer pictures. Also, I just really think it looks nicer with the risers. That's just me. No party would be complete without some sort of party favor or to-go box, and I don't always include them in my looks, but I was doing some perusing and looking for some inspiration, and I came across this beautiful collection of cookies. Both of these cookie sets are from the same lady on Etsy. I'm linking to her shop and these specific product links down below. But I thought, oh, these are perfect. Like, they look so good for this look, but honestly, so many of the Bridgerton inspired parties that we do, I really, really love them. And so you can get them in, I think, 12 bundles or more. But anyways, check her Etsy shop out. But I thought if you could get these, a nice little thank you note with rose gold foil, and then a cute little rose gold box, and then of course some like little strings like this. This is ribbon, but it's kind of got a leaf motif to it, if that makes sense. That would be just a really fun little box. Like, thanks for coming to my party, here you go. Like, I would be thrilled and delighted to get one of these to take home. So really, really easy. Doesn't take a whole lot. Put a little tissue paper in there. Could be really fun. Now that we've gone through the decorating and designing portion, let's do a quick run through of all of the finished mood boards for our Harmony Ball inspired spring soiree. We'll start with the tall tablescape, budget friendly and beautiful and elegant, featuring a beautiful rose organza overlay. Our state table is fun because it's going to have a pop of rose gold and sequin runners, nice little bit of crystal, and some fun napkin rings. Our arch tablescape is going to be on a round tablescape, which is very unusual. We're going to make a gorgeous muted rose layered arch installation with lots of silk florals, and again, pop of fun napkin ring and raspberry napkin. Our dessert buffet is a small undertaking. We have a statement linen in this rose gold sequin vine tablecloth, and lots of fun pieces for servingware that can be used again and again throughout the year in your own personal collection. And then to add height to the table, we're using dogwood branches. For those who want a floral photo wall, there is a beautiful, luxurious floral wall panel available from Shop Wild Things, which includes these multicolored pink and white panels. There's also these fun risers that just add a little bit of pop of dimension to the look. And of course, party favors, beautiful custom handmade cookies in a beautiful deluxe box. Now, we've got a lot of ideas that we've shared on this channel for Bridgerton inspired balls, parties, weddings, showers. I mean, really anything and everything. I always love a good request, so if you have any requests, make sure to leave them down below. But if you need more inspiration for a Bridgerton inspired soiree, make sure you check out my Bridgerton inspired board, linked down below in the description for you. As always, my name is Alessandra. Thank you so much for decorating with me today. The abridged version with just the final mood boards will be available shortly, and you can share that with your local design team, florist, or your best friend, whoever you love who wants to see this. Thanks for decorating with me today. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos like this coming soon. Bye, friends.